regions in Ukraine at a ceremony today. The move comes after those sham referendums that were held in those same four territories earlier this week. For more on all this, let's welcome back in U.S. Deputy Military Rep to NATO and Newsmax military contributor, General Blaine Holt. General, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you.
This is really unbelievable news. Now, I'm going to ask you the question, but I want to have my team throw up the map of Ukraine just so everyone at home can understand what we're talking about. A fifth of all of the land in Ukraine, Putin is going to say is part of Russia today. Really unbelievable. Take us through what this means and how does the world respond to this?
Yep. So just one footnote. I think that ceremony is slated for tomorrow, but it all gets to the same thing. They're going to try to now take their sham referendum results, people who had to vote door to door at gunpoint, and they're going to try to legitimize those on the world stage tomorrow with a statement or some sort of ceremony. Welcome to Russia. You're in. But this could not be a more deadly backdrop for what's to come, because if you recall, they restated what their nuclear doctrine is and how they can protect the Russian Federation.
Right.
And that lays the groundwork to say to Zelensky, if you keep attacking these regions, then anything and everything is on the table for us. And so that's what this is really all about. What we now have to also watch is those SCO countries at that big meeting. I believe they'll all come in with recognition of this as absolutely legit, above board take. And then you've got a new formula about how Russia wants to take land in this world. That goes back to Crimea.
Okay, now I have to say this. The other side of this could be an off-ramp for President Zelensky to de-escalate the war. Is there any chance that happens? That Zelensky says, fine, you take that, get out of the rest of Ukraine, we'll call it a day?
It is a possibility. I'll tell you, it's probably a small one. Just checking in with sources in Ukraine, I think that the peril to Zelensky, if he says, okay, this is the off-ramp, we agree, the Ukrainian people probably will have real trouble with Zelensky and his leadership team if they were to pursue that. Wow. I think Vladimir Putin sees this as the off-ramp.
Yeah, but think about how Biden and the UN and NATO, they all have to respond to this move. I want to throw that map back up there. If you look at Crimea in the south, that's what Putin took, that peninsula, in 2014. We're talking about all of the land in red he's going to officially annex, you say formally tomorrow at this ceremony. It's really unbelievable. I want to put up a map of the Nord Stream pipelines, Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, Nord Stream rack, if our White House press secretary is referring to these pipelines. But both these pipelines run from Russia all the way down into Germany, provide 40% of the energy to Germany and many other European nations. A lot of people are wondering why one of these pipelines or both were taken out. We've seen this video of bubbles coming to the surface in the Baltic Sea there. General, what's your take? And I just want to throw up a tweet here. This is from a New York Times best-selling writer, Jim Rickards. And a lot of people are speculating here. He says, I don't know who blew up Nord Stream pipelines. I do know that when solving a mystery, you look for motives. Russia has none. They can turn off the gas when they want to. The U.S. has plenty. Blame Putin, escalate the war, advance green agenda, make EU dependent, then go from there. What's your take on what's playing out in the Baltic Sea?
Well, Jim Rickards is great, and he does great work. I think what's shocking is that we're living at a place in time that we actually have to question the motives of great powers like the U.S., Europe, and we can't just go, oh, it's the bad guy. The bad guy did this. Now, in this instance, my sources, both in Russia and in other parts of the globe, logically are indicating that this is likely a Russian action, but that's not going to be confirmed until there's really solid investigatory work that's completed. But it makes it very, very dangerous no matter who did it. And it's both pipelines. And what it means is that for certain, Europe is now going to see a really devastating circumstance in heating and food this winter. And it lays the crisis for even more escalation on the world front. What does Russia say if it is their false flag? Do they start accusing the U.S. and Europe of this? And what do they intend to do with it?
General, I'm with you. We're out of time, but it sounds like the cat's out of the bag. I mean, just the speculation that the U.S. might have taken out these pipelines it raises a lot of questions. A lot more to unpack there, General. We'll have you back soon. Thanks so much for that. We appreciate it as always.
Thanks so much, Ron.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the truth.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to
Don't
think.
tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let me decide.
Newsmax.
Real news
For real people.